Everybody smile. You all look great. I'm gonna send you all a copy after.
Simon, thank you so much for coming to Salt Lake Comic-Con. We are so excited to have you.
Oh, thank you for having me.
I think the Critics' Choice Award that you won in 2013 for Best Supporting Actor was long overdue.
That's what I tell everybody I meet, always. Do you realize how long I've been waiting for this? No, thank you, that's very nice. Very nice of you to say that. I wear it as a necklace sometimes. I didn't tonight, but...
You be pimping.
Yes.
So I think the writers, we're going to do questions in just a second, but I think the writers throw the most challenging material at our little friend, Howard Wolowitz. Some of the creepiest, craziest, weirdest stuff. And somehow, Simon makes us love Howard so much.
It says more about you guys that you love this character, not about me. He's a creep. No. Well, I try to make it. It's gotten a little bit. He's a little more lovable these days since he's gotten married and. Thank you. Yes, I don't know. That says more about you. I don't know. Are you? I think that the perverted side of him maybe was it was something I tried to fight against a little bit to make him somewhat more human, but they really layered on the sleaze, and I had to cut through it. But with pants that tight, you know, it was an uphill battle.
Don't you have to have like the assistant sometimes help you get out of the pants? Like that's her job?
Yes, there are ladies who are paid not a lot of money, but they're paid enough by me, of course, to take my pants on and off. There's a lot of sometimes ghee. They'll spread ghee on my legs just to oil them up. Very tight pants.
Do they ever polish your belt buckle?
Well, cost extra, but.
All right. I think we might be ready for some questions from our amazing audience out there. You guys ready? We going over there? All right.
In Big Bang Theory, who's your favorite person to work with?
Oh, see, you're inherently asking me who my least favorite people to work with. That's really what you're asking. You might be a little. Are you just dressed as a little girl? You're not actually a sweet little girl, are you? It's Comic-Con. I know how these things. It's a great costume, sir. I don't know who They mix it up very nicely, and I've worked a lot with Kunal. Obviously, sort of we were partners in crime, and we have a very good time. He doesn't whisper in my ear as much anymore, which I do miss. I mean, not on camera. He does it off camera for me, but. It's fun. Everybody has their own. I've worked a lot more with Jim in the last season or two, and that's always fun. God, I'm gonna paint myself into a corner if I say that I like one the most. So I will say, my time with Melissa since she's come on the show as my wife is really wonderful. So I'll say I love my wife.
I was wondering if it was fun to watch your character go from this person that would do anything they could, wear an eye patch or crazy shirts, to be the first person to get married in your group. Was that a lot of fun for you to go through?
No. I mean, why? Hell. I had to go through, you saw what I had to go through. Get tattoos on my butt and all these humiliating things. It was a fun place to end up. But yes, no, I miss sometimes all of that insanity. I realized there were so many episodes where I got to make an entrance in some insane outfit, whether it was, you know, the tattoo sleeves or the, not that I don't wear insane outfits. I mean, look at what I wear on the show now. I guess that's less insane than it used to be, but I loved all the shenanigans, and it is a rare thing to get to watch a character grow so much. So it's a luxury of being on this long. Is he started out as perhaps the most shady, failed, sad Lothario ever to be created, and then he ended up being a somewhat decent guy, and yeah, so it's a nice journey. Most characters don't get to have such an arc, so I guess that's what being on for, you know, 8 seasons will allow, and it's really nice.
In Big Bang Theory, what was the funnest episode to be in?
See, now you're asking me what the least fun episode, really. You, sir, have a better costume than the last gentleman. I don't, what was the most fun? I'm trying to think. This is a question I should have a lot of answers at the ready for. I'll say, I mean, an amazing moment was meeting Stephen Hawking, and that was just, it wasn't like a barrel of laughs, I guess, but that was an incredible moment. Let's see, it was fun. I'm like forgetting every episode I've ever done. How many have we done? Which one? Oh, the Hawking. Well, I'll ask you, what was your favorite episode? And I'll tell you if I had a good time or if it was a horrible time in my life. Do you have one? See, it's hard when the tables are turned on you. Do you have one that you really liked a lot?
I don't know, I like all of them.
Do you not really like the show that much, and somebody could show? When I went to space. Oh yeah, that was an incredible. That was an odd. Going to space was a very weird time for me shooting the show because I was not shooting live in front of an audience. I was on the other side of the stage, and it was all you know, a lot of blue screen and After Effects and stuff. So I had to basically be by myself, and I would shoot on Mondays, and the rest of the cast would shoot Tuesdays, and I felt very lonely. And I would just come in and pretend to be floating, and I had a beard, and I felt like I was on a different show. So it would not have been a great show. Just a bearded guy who floats is not really. I tried to spin it off, but they didn't want to make a show about that.
Was it going to be called Rocket Man?
Yeah, exactly. Beards in outer space. Yes.
I think when the cast was asked about what one of their favorite moments was at another Comic-Con, they all said, you know, when they all held hands when Howard went into space, and they all cried, and you know
It's because I wasn't there.
Right.
So unfair. Yes, they had a great time too. I was in my dressing room because I had already shot my stuff. Yeah, those episodes were really sweet. I mean, it's always fun. I like the adventure episodes where the 4 guys get into something dumb. You know, even the earlier ones. I'm just remembering like the time machine, where we bring back the time machine. And I don't know. I'm always very excited to see the 4 guys being, you know, dumber than ever together, and yeah. So that's
like on their way to Comic-Con, and they get stuck in the desert, and
right. Yeah. It's just it's fun to watch, you know, geniuses make a series of the worst decisions, you know, a human could make. So.
All right, ready for the next question?
Simon, I was just wondering, you remember the episode where you guys are playing Dungeons and Dragons, and you were narrating the game, and you were being like Nicolas Cage impersonations?
I do.
I was just wondering if you could do that for us.
Okay, the slight bad news is that he's kind of got a thing with his throat. Sorry.
I do have a little thing. You're making me feel bad. I will say that there's this thing called YouTube, and It's an amazing invention. I will tell you that was one of my favorite episodes. Now that you've reminded me that we shot that, and I do remember it. You asked if I remembered it. I do. Wouldn't it be weird if I didn't remember shooting that episode? Yeah, that was an incredibly fun experience to bring in all those other weird voices, and they let me do an impression of Kunal, which is always fun because he's really fun to make fun of. Yeah, and the guys on the show, we were talking about this backstage that I don't want to get trampled here, but I didn't grow up playing Dungeons and Dragons, and so we have to be taught. We're all like these 4 guys that play these characters, and it's like you could throw a rock and hit somebody that is into Star Trek. I wouldn't throw rocks at people that are into Star Trek, I'm just saying. There are so many. But you found 4 guys that, don't really play video games and don't, it's a dangerous thing to say here, but we've learned to love it. And the writers, I heard, had a night of drinking whiskey and playing Dungeons and Dragons in order to write that episode. So it was, which I'm not recommending to anybody here, but whiskey and Dungeons and Dragons will, I guess, get you a funny episode of television is the moral of the story.
All right, another question.
Hi, Fruit Loops. Who would you like to see guest star new on the show?
William Shatner.
Was he here? That was William Shatner saying that, wasn't it? Self-promoting. What's that? He did. Well, I guess we have to ask him first, but it's nice that I'm sure we would love to have him on. I would love to have him on. I don't make the decisions. But yeah, he's sort of like the missing link, actually, in all of the amazing guest stars we've had. That would be very cool. Who else? I want to hear. You guys are the people that watch it so much. Patrick Stewart. That would be. Well, we haven't met my character's father, so there's room to surprise.
I think your father might be Leonard Nimoy. Yeah.
You could be on though.
You could be Little Spock.
I could be Little Spock. He came down in that episode where the Spock doll is talking to Sheldon. That was him, which was totally surreal to have him backstage. And then when he came out, oh my God, people went nuts. But so we've kind of. It's Stephen Hawking is hard to top, but I agree with some of your. There's something way more exciting happening next week.
All right, right there.
Hi, my question is, you do so many different voices on this show between yelling at your mother and all the other, actors that you portray. And I want to know, what's your process? Like, do you have to warm up your voice specially for that, or do you have to research anything for it?
Well, I eat a lot of ice cream because that's my secret. I definitely well, to answer both of those questions, I do have to do a lot of practice and research to do impressions and voices, but I've done it for so long that I guess I've done a lot of that work, so I don't have to spend a tremendous amount of time anymore. But if it's somebody new, yeah, and it's a bit of a creepy process because you're just studying somebody's mannerisms so intense. It's like I'm stalking these people, and usually because I'm sitting outside of their bedroom watching them. But YouTube again has helped. I'll just watch. I'll just try to find the common denominator, some either expression or something they do with their face or voice or something that allows me to kind of click in. And sometimes I can't, but I do work a lot, and I do try to warm up my voice so it doesn't get. This is so boring, but yeah, so it doesn't. I don't want to hurt myself. If I started bleeding profusely out of my mouth in the middle of the taping, it wouldn't be that funny, which I don't think would happen. But yeah, so a lot of different tricks of the trade.
I just saw your Nick Cage auditions for Steven Spielberg to play Lincoln.
Oh, Conan.
You guys gotta watch that.
From Conan, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Conan Conan exploits my weird little circus act.
All right, right there.
So I have two questions for you. One's a really quick yes or no question.
Okay.
That one is there any plans at any time to actually give Penny a last name?
Well, I don't make. If I had my druthers, we've joked about different ones, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think they like. But again, then they did it with Kramer, right? On Seinfeld, they gave him his first name later, so maybe it will be a big reveal. What is that? Hofstad. Okay, that will be that. She will have to take. Maybe when she takes his name, we'll find out that she was. You know, we were talking about Penny Blaine. I just like that it sounded like Penny Lane. And that's it. But yeah, I don't know. So that was my very quick yes or no answer. So no.
The other question is, you got so used to hearing the mother yelling voice and anything like that. What was your first feeling or response the first time you ever heard Melissa do that voice?
Terror. I think I just went catatonic. Like, no. Yeah, because that's not. There's an actress, Caroline Susi, who does the voice of my mother, and so then this little sweet girl, Melissa, comes in, and I think just as like an experiment, they wrote in a line where she was supposed to kind of sound like, and she sounded more. I mean, it was like a dragon all of a sudden. So yeah, that was. There's no escaping. I think the mother is that omniscient force in Howard's life and many Jewish boys' lives. You can run, but you can't hide. I think it says that in the Torah somewhere about mothers. So yeah.
Thank you.
All right, right there.
Hi, I was just wondering, I am a huge fan of Big Bang Theory, and I was just wondering if I could take a picture with you.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I'm allowed to. Didn't we just take one with everybody here? Remember, I posed and smiled. I think you have to come to the booth, right? I don't know.
Okay.
I'm
but
sorry.
My other question is how is it working with Jim? Like, how do you guys not just laugh the whole freaking time?
Well, sometimes we do laugh, and some of us laugh more than others. I think, and also by the time we're shooting it, we've rehearsed it, so we can sometimes get out giggles. I'm not a huge laugher. Some people crack up constantly, and you can see. I'm sure. I guess there's outtakes of all that stuff. Kunal is a big laugher, but I don't know. We kind of are in the zone, I guess, and we're in it. But there are moments that pull us, really test that, and I think it's when sometimes the audience will go insane for so long and we have to just keep staring into each other's eyes, and it becomes absurd. I'm not going to go out. If you're trying to get me to say that Jim's not that funny, and that's why I don't laugh, all you guys are trying to get me. No, I think it's a hilarious group of people and a hilarious show, and the audience does most of the laughing for us, I guess. I don't know. Yeah.
All right, right over there.
Simon.
Whoa. Yes. You broke the mic.
Okay, right over here, right over there, the guy in the red. We'll get back to you, maybe.
Hi, Simon. First off, thank you. Howard is fantastic. And then, how has it been playing such an iconic character? And did you ever think the show would take off so much for when you first got cast as the role?
No, I don't think that you can ever really know what is going to work or not. I had done a lot of, we had all done a lot of work before this, and you do some stuff that is not wonderful and becomes kind of something that people get excited about, and you do fantastic stuff that you believe in wholeheartedly and nobody likes it. So I think there's just a day by day kind of, we shot the show, there was a writer's strike in the first season, we missed 100 days of work, and a lot of shows didn't survive that. And we had only shot 7 episodes, so we kind of all, there's a picture of us on the set when we found out, and we're all sitting there because we thought we were done, you know, and the show was doing fairly well, but you just don't really know. You know, during the pilot, I think there was a moment where I thought, well, this show, there's something special happening here, and I hope that people see it, but I felt something special happening. I've shot a lot of pilots, and it just doesn't mean that it's gonna catch on. And so I guess something like today is a reminder that it has caught on. It's hard to believe, I guess.
23 million people watch that show, so.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Question right there.
Hi, my name is Osiris. I want to thank you on behalf of everyone for coming here.
Thank you.
San Diego sucks. Born and raised in New York, uptown Manhattan. You know, New York has a lot of people that come out, artists, or a lot of them move there. What was your, and I don't mean to kill the theme of Big Bang, I love Big Bang Theory, but how did going to Tisch help you get to where you're at today?
Oh, well, I went to, for people that don't know what that is, I went to NYU, and the Tisch School of the Arts is the program. Well, I studied theater, and there's some, I mean, this is, guys, I really feel like I'm letting you down. Listen to what's going on. That's a Tisch School of the Arts panel right there. That's no, for me, studying was a huge part of, I mean, that's how I learned how to act. I think that, you know, sometimes people don't realize that there's training, and just like any other sort of trade, that there's training and work that goes into it. And so I spent 2 years doing that, and I studied stuff that, you know, was a stretch for me. I wasn't really allowed to do comedy for the first year because the teacher thought that was my comfort zone. I don't know what she was talking about. So I you know, ended up doing a lot of Shakespeare and drama and things that, you know, really stretched me a lot. So for me, it was huge, and I guess I wouldn't know how to act had I not studied. So I don't know what I would be doing. So I recommend that too. So thank you, everybody. Yes, they love school. There's so much applause next door, right? It's just like, you know, like when you're peeing at a urinal and it's like a giant guy next to you, and you're like, I don't really want to peek, but it seems like things are going great for you.
Go ahead.
My question is, will we ever get to see Howard's mother on the episode? On any of the episodes?
Well, you've seen a glimpse. There's an episode where you see pass through the kitchen, I think, or you see her hands, and but we built her up to be such a monster that, I mean, you know, we would need the Game of Thrones special effects team, I think, just to build the dragon that would be Mrs. Wolowitz. So I hope for all of your poor innocent eyes that we don't get to see her. You might turn to stone, I don't know.
Jabba the Hutt, that would work.
Yeah.
So I didn't really have a question. I just wanted to say thank you for doing the Wolowitz character, because when the show first started, the Wolowitz character was the kind of the bane of the group, and my family always called me Wolowitz. I had the belt buckles, I had the weird outfits, all that fun stuff. Weird haircut too.
What are you saying? Come on.
I honestly felt like you were based on me, so whatever. But the entire time that you see Wolowitz grow, and he's the first person to have a successful relationship, that was like, okay, cool, now I can be Wolowitz. So I just wanted to say thank you for showing the fact that everyone has room for growth. That's
yes.
it.
Well, I'm happy my character made you realize that your family did not accept you, but now they probably do.
People love me for who I am. That's all I need
didn't know.
Yeah, they called you Wallowitz, and then they made fun of him. This is so sad. Well, I'm happy that. Yeah, it's. I appreciate that. I think it's true. It was like I was saying before. It's a rare thing to see so much growth from a. Unfortunately, it's emotional growth and not physical growth. But I'll take one. I'll take the emotion. So yeah, it's nice. Well, I'm happy you're doing well, and your haircut is not weird. Don't let anyone tell you it is.
It's much better now. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, thanks. Little girl right over there.
You're my favorite character on Big Bang Theory, but I couldn't think of anything to ask you, so can I get a hug?
Do I have to hug the pirate who's holding you up?
If you'll hug me, I'll take one.
Security!
He's got a big heart.
You smelled like a pirate too. Very authentic.
All right, little boy.
Okay, I'm a big fan of the show. I really love it. You're one of my favorite characters.
You don't say. Look at. Oh, well, that is so sweet. You know, that's probably the actual outfit that I wear. We are probably the same size, and you're. I think you might be 25 years younger than I am.
The thing is, I got it off the internet, so.
Oh yeah. Did you wash it? All right. I'll take that as a no.
My question was, what was your favorite episode of the show?
Well, somebody asked that before, and I gave a long rambling answer. I'm going to ask you, what's your favorite episode of the show, and then I'll tell you if I hated it and you're wrong.
I liked the Halloween episode where you were Batman.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
I even got the Batman pin.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and
That's-
I put it with my wallet. So.
That's awesome. Well, yeah, you know, I think you wear that outfit very well, and the internet is a wonderful provider of secondhand dirty clothes. You should really wash those clothes. I'm saying it because I think I wore them, and I'm a filthy animal.
Okay, and my second question is, can you make an episode of you having a baby?
Me personally? You know, we're scientists, and that hasn't really been discovered yet in the male species.
Not you?
Okay.
Like, in the show.
You want Bernadette to have a baby,
Yes.
and you want that to be on television.
Yes.
You know, the internet is also a wonderful place to see. I'll see what I can do. I want to make your dreams come true, even if it's not America's dream. Thank you.
Was that Wonder Woman?
Yeah, kind of. Okay, keeping this as PG as possible.
Sure.
In real life, are you as easy as Howard Wolowitz was in the show?
What are you getting at here? Sounds like an invitation. Well, I'm married, but I was a real slut with my wife. Excuse me. Yes, I think you know, he was desperate, Howard, and I guess that does make him easy, doesn't it? I think that, you know, there was a long period of time where I was you know, a virgin by choice. It just wasn't my choice. So I was probably pretty easy. It's just no one would take me up on it.
Thank you.
So that's a little bit more information than I planned on revealing.
So if you guys want to see actually the love story between Simon and his wife, Jessica Town, who's an amazing actress.
Jocelyn.
Jocelyn, excuse me. There's going to be a movie.
There is a movie. Yeah,
yeah.
I made a movie that is going to come out in January, and it's called "We'll Never Have Paris," and it is actually based on, because I am such a smooth Casanova. I decided to write what ultimately is a comedy, but was really the most catastrophic, horrible breakup in history between my wife and I before we got married, and led to the absolute most clumsy, horrible proposal in history, all spearheaded by me. And I follow her to Paris, and it's this it's basically, the most ridiculous, systematic self-destruction of a neurotic person trying to do the right thing, because we're not all blessed with the moves of guys like Howard Wolowitz. Yeah, and it's called "We'll Never Have Paris," and it's got Zach Quinto in it and Maggie Grace and all these great people, and you should look out for it if you want to see a guy just making a series of bad decisions while trying to win over a girl. But it worked out because I married her, so it's kind of crazy.
When does it come out?
It's going to come out in January, and there'll be an official announcement probably this week or next week about dates and all that. But and we got a great studio that picked it up. So we'll never have Paris. Me just continuing to put my foot in my mouth and mess up. That's the mark I'm going to leave on this planet. Is just a screw up.
And you're also in the other movie, I Am I, that your wife wrote and starred in and directed, and just she blew me away. I watched it this week, so it's called I Am I. It's on iTunes. If you
that's on
watch it.
iTunes.
And you're in it, so.
I am in it. We produced it, and it's a little more dramatic. But yeah, you guys should check all that stuff out. It'd be awesome.
Was it over there? Over there, right there.
Hi. My question is, out of all the guest stars besides Stephen Hawking, because you mentioned him a few times, who is your favorite and why?
Oh wow, all the guest stars. Let's see. Well, yeah. So now you've told me that the one that I chose before as my favorite is not acceptable anymore. So okay. Yeah, well, yes, I will say that Stan is Lee, who is such a character, who's here also, he is as vibrant as more than I am. I'm scared. I think he would beat me in arm wrestling, and certainly if we were picking up chicks at a bar, I think he would really take me to town. He was amazing, and Bob Newhart was pretty special. Just an icon and a really sweet man, and such an incredible, unique voice and sense of rhythm, and it's so different from everybody else on the show, and yet he just would kill it. He would start a line, and it was like he would take the long way around, and you're like, what? And then he would just come back and knock it out of the park, and we were, he's a brilliant comedian, so that was a real treat.
Hi, Simon. I want to say my favorite episode is probably the one where you give Sheldon his comeuppance with the card game, with the card trick.
Yes.
Definitely one me and my wife watch very often. And my question is regarding, and you may have answered this in previous cons, I don't know, but what is the secret meaning behind the lapel pin?
It's a secret, and it's something that's never talked about really. I will say that our brilliant costume designer Mary Quigley is the force behind it, and is the force behind all. I mean, the look of the show in so many ways, also the art direction, and that group of people, John Shafter and Ann Shea, these people that make this world and these characters, and the way we dress is all Mary Quigley, and that pin was there, and we kind of had we discussed it sort of in whispers, and then was like swore never to talk about it again. I don't know, but it's something that it's become like a tradition. I mean, you barely ever see my neck in the show, and I have such a gorgeous neck. I want the world to see, but yeah. So it's become it's just a little quirk, but I can't reveal it here. Maybe at the finale, maybe the whole finale will be about what is that pin on his neck. Yeah. So it's between me and Marion.
All right, thanks. Right there.
Hello.
Out of everybody in every TV show and any movie, who do you geek out over the most?
Who do I geek out over? Oh wow, that's a wide spanning question. Who do I geek out over? Well, I'm just trying to think. I'm a big fan of Woody Allen. I'm just thinking off the top of my head as a filmmaker. I haven't gotten to meet him, but and I was a huge fan of Robin Williams as well, and I got to meet him. And yeah, so those are some people that your throat goes dry when you meet them. And Kunal, I wish he would talk to me. We work together, for crying out loud. Yeah.
All right, thanks. Little Batman.
Hi, we both have a question for you.
Okay.
Oh, Iron Man.
How many belt buckles do you have?
How many belt buckles?
There's a costume department. So they keep all of our outfits in this room, and they keep having to expand the room, and I think it's because of the belt buckles. And there's got to be probably, I would say over 100, I would think. And there'll be times where I'm halfway through shooting an episode, and I realize that I didn't even notice the buckle. I've never even worn the one that I was wearing. I don't even always look at them. So sometimes I'm still discovering new ones, and there's some really, there's some interesting ones. There's one that has like a gear shifter, and it works, and it sticks out, and it's kind of awkward, and there's a roulette wheel that spins, and it's like a whole ecosystem of things going on down there. So yeah. Hundreds, more than any normal man should have.
All right over there.
If I could get a hug too, and
you have to be under 12.
Oh, okay.
It's like to ride this ride, you know what I'm saying?
It's okay.
The hug train.
I also wanted to ask.
Oh, come on! I didn't mean that. Jeez.
How was it working on Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog?
It was really awesome. It actually, during that writer's strike that I was talking about, there was the 100 days where we did nothing and thought our careers might be over. Joss Whedon wrote that and said, let's just make this without the studios. Everyone's on strike, and let's start making our own content. I mean, he really is kind of a pioneer for that whole platform of producing, selling, owning your own content. And he did it, I think he originally did it independent of iTunes and crashed the website, so he really made this thing himself. And it was amazing. I mean, I sat in the room to do a table read just for the first time meeting everybody, and heard those songs, and I was completely blown away. I think the music in that is just brilliant, and I could not believe that it was original, and I was going to get to be a part of it, and the group of actors, and that story. I think it's fantastic, and I hope that they do continue to tell that story, make a movie, or do a play, or do more episodes, or some version of which I know everyone's excited for. So.
In the extra features, somebody said something about the original, like a storyline about your character Moist, like selling cocaine and getting arrested and thrown in prison. Like that was
Wow.
in the extra features. You ever hear anything about that, or you think that was a joke?
It might have been a joke, or it might have been a joke that will become a reality if enough people think it's funny. I don't know. I haven't heard a ton. I mean, I know everybody involved wants to make more, but Joss just keeps making these little indies like the Avengers, the Avengers 2, Return of the Avengers. I don't know. So there's still Avenging, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'm open. I had such a wonderful time.
I was wondering if I can get a high five.
A high five. All right. So we're getting less intimate with our interactions. I will give you a high five. I would love to. What are you? You have a Superman cape and then a T-shirt. Oh, no, it's just it's a comic. You're dressed as a Comic-Con. Very sweet.
All right. Do you have a question?
Yeah, how is it like being an actor?
What was it like being an actor?
Well, the specificity of that is. No, I want to try to answer. I want to try to. Do you mean do I like it, or is there anything specific that you? Because I can tell you it's fun, but it's also. Do you want to be an actor? You thinking about it?
No.
That is the right answer. Wait, do you hate actors or something? Is that what you're trying to tell me? No. No, it's, I'm in an incredibly lucky situation. I get to work on the show and with great people, and I get to do it for a living, and it doesn't always feel like a job. In fact, it usually feels like it's hard work, but it's fun. So finding something that you love to do, they say if you find something you love to do, you'll never work a day in your life. So, but I think you're onto something with that, with not wanting to be an actor. That's a smart life choice. So.
All right, Supergirl.
Can you sing, and do you wish you could have sung on Dr. Horrible?
Oh, that's sad.
I auditioned to sing on Dr. Horrible. They turned me down. I sing in the I guess it's the commentary.
Yeah, the commentary track. He sings. If you guys haven't listened to the commentary track on Dr. Horrible, he's got a great solo. It's awesome.
Well, but I'm not. I can sing and dance, but in funny ways. That's like if the purpose is to be awkward and make people laugh, then but like Neil Patrick Harris and Nathan Fillion, those guys, and Felicia, they're singers. But I play music, I play piano, I sing on the show. But again, it's funny. So yeah, that's what I'd like to do now. Is I'd like to sing an a cappella version of Ave Maria for everybody. Who just said that? The man who broke the microphone? You've had more of a presence at this event today than they've had. Did you want to ask a question? And they why don't you ask a question? Just that. Well, no wonder they took the microphone away from me. He wants me to sing a song for you guys. I'm not going to sing a song. But it would make everyone cry, and it was not in the right way.
Actually, we're over to Pikachu over there.
My question is actually about Dr. Horrible's Sing Along blog and commentary the musical. I was just wondering if you had anything to do with like the writing of your song "Moist" that you did, yeah.
The writing of the song, you said?
Yeah.
No, I mean, Jed, Whedon, and Marissa, and they wrote that. I think it was just the two of them that wrote that one. I'm not sure, but I played piano on the song, so I did get to solo and add stuff musically. But yeah, so I try to, they're brilliant at what they do, and so I came in and we recorded that in his bedroom and one night, and that's all that happened in there, I promise. It was feel. Yeah. So yeah, it was. They're brilliant at it. So no, thank you. Oh, thanks.
All right, well, guys, it has been such a pleasure. Please come and find Simon, get a picture, get an autograph. Thank you so much, Simon.
Thanks, guys. Thank you so much. It's so cool.